You and your little GoPro.
Speak up.
Wait, you should have emceed it.
Huh?
You should have emceed it.
Empty what?
Emceed this. Never mind. Hey. Is there anybody who wants to start off?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter? Yeah, you got it, Granddaddy. You need a light?
So, this is all about, mostly about Britt, but I wanted to start off with Allie. And to say, Allie, here's what you impressed me with, and I've had a few impressions, but not enough. But you're so vibrant and alive and ready for adventure. And what I admire is just the few times I've been around you, how you're gifted with the capability of being really with someone in a very listening, trusting way, and at the same time you're able to run and be childlike. And I just find that to be so life-giving, and we just want you to know that Carol and I are just looking for every opportunity to join up with y'all going forward to share in the adventures that lie ahead. But I had a little more about Britt. And I made notes so I wouldn't leave out anything too important. First thing I would say about Britt is he and I go way back. All the way back to the beginning. I mean, the beginning. And so a lot of y'all have more stories about Britt than I do. So I'm going to tell you just about the young Britt impressions I got that are showing up now and in really admirable ways. I don't have any, don't worry, Britt, this is all pretty good, some of it. So first thing I came up with was that Britt is curious. Now, I know curious has a number of meanings to it, but I mean by curious, Britt is like an explorer, filled with curiosity. Ooh, 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 you know, and ooh, 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 ooh. And so Britt, if something about curiosity, putting into an adventurous spirit, Britt needed adventure. Britt created adventure. And then being curious, you never knew where he was, what he was doing. So Carol was athletic, trying to keep up with him, doing all the things that was fulfilling his curiosity. It's biblical, though. I want to cite a biblical. There's a parable, a proverb that says, it's the glory of God to hide a matter, and to search out a matter is the glory of kings. Well, Britt's a king in training, and he is searching out the hidden, really wonderful things of God. But back then, it was different. For example, we had a treat we did now and then. We'd take our little family, Britt about age 6, Trailer about age 4, and Carol and I would go to Baskin Robbins over on Harding Road, I think it is, right near Belle Meade, to have an ice cream. Well, the three of us, Britt, Carol, and Trailer, all knew what we were going to get. Britt, you didn't know what he was going to get. We go in there, there's 31 opportunities, and so we'd go in there, and I was a little fussy. I was trying to be a father, teach him the way he should go. First of all, don't get a cone. It's drippy. Get a cup. 1 scoop. I get 2 scoops. And so he'd go back and forth and back and forth. I'd be up there ordering, what do you order in Baskin Robbins? You get a cup, Jamocha almond fudge in the bottom, pralines and cream on the top. That's it. That's right. It was right for me. Britt going back and forth and back and forth. You didn't know whether you could get watermelon ice, peanut caramel licorice, or some bizarre, he never got the same thing. And finally he'd stop and get in the cone, drop the cone, and out we go. So that was one thing about his curiosity. Another thing about Britt is that he's witty and funny. And even back at age 5, he was showing how witty and funny he was. He had a Superman thing. And he would, at some point, think it was Superman time. And he would get his cape secretly. You could hear the door to the basement stairs opening up. And we knew Britt was going down there. And what he would do, he had to fly. It was time to fly. And so he'd go down 3 or 4 steps up, and he'd jump, make sure the cape was going right, you know, and then go up a little further. At some point, Carol, concerned, would go up the door, and we just saw him launch about midway, all the way down, whoo, pow. And he got up, turned around, saw his mom there, and said, "Well, Mommy, you know, I'm jumping, I'm Superman. It's magical going down, but it's not so much fun going back up." He goes doing that. And then since then, he's learned how to use Donkey Kong in the ways I've never heard before, and it really means something in hat trick. So he's got a way of doing it with words. So Britt's creative. And if you put that together with adventure, there was a time, we told this last night, but when Carol had Britt about age 2, Trailer just newborn, and she needed a nap. And so nap time, put the kids up in the room, and then she closed the door and she go get her nap. Well, this was a spring day, so she opened the window because there's a nice spring breeze coming in, and she went to take her nap, and we didn't realize, but the window open had a 2-story distance before the ground, and she was just about to drop off in her sleep, and she heard the doorbell ring. And she really was irritated, coming out of her slumber, and went to the door and opened the door. Ooh, and she didn't see anybody, and this little person grabbed her leg, looked down, it was Britt in his diapers. Got dirt all over his feet. And so she picked him up and just didn't know what was going on. Went into the bedroom, and he got out of his crib, walked across the room, up on the bassinet, pushed open the screen somehow in the window. We don't know whether he jumped or he just dropped off, but she knew this. She locked the window, put him back in his crib because he's probably going to try and do it again. So we got that thing going on. So Britt showed his leadership very early on. One time when Britt was about 4, Trailer about 2, or maybe a little younger, and she didn't know where they both were, so she went back and found the bathroom door closed. She opened it up, and there were Britt and Trailer, both facing the potty with the little bare ends facing the door. And Carol walked up, and he said, "Teaching how to go potty." Teaching Trailer how to go pee in the potty. He was a leading in potty training. Then another way he was a leadership, I would say he was a leadership in yard sports. And we had a long driveway slanted towards the grass in the backyard, fortunately. And so probably age 6 and 4, you remember those big wheel tricycles? They were plastic. They could go very fast. And so Britt would get Trailer and push him off, and the Trailer go and then to get in the grass to sort of slow down. Well, that was nice. Then he found a piece of plywood, and we had a couple of logs. He put a log underneath it and got Trailer up there and go, "Okay, 1, 2, 3, shoo!" And you go, "Wow!" Boom, 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 boom. And that was fun. And so we got another log and put it underneath there. And so he was showing Trailer how much fun he could have flying. And Trailer's never flown before. And so then, after a while, Trailer was enjoying it. Britt was getting a little bit bored, and so he said, okay, ran out of logs, and so he did something underneath there so that as soon as the big wheel would hit it, everything would go away. And so Trailer he got up there knowing what would happen, gave him one last shove, and fortunately we didn't have to go to the emergency room, but something happened very sensational that Britt may have enjoyed, Trailer did not enjoy too much. So, one of the things we know now that, Britt is a forever friend. A forever friend. And what I've noticed is whether it be a friend he made 6 years old, a backyard friend, who now is still one of his best friends, or, a lot goes on in grade school, high school, college. Well, some of his best friends are from that era, along with his brother, and which is remarkable. And just something about the gift of God in him, and his caring, and he's just a forever friend, and really am delighted about that. So I just want to say in closing that, Britt, I love you as a son, I love you as a friend, and I love you as one whose heart is so after the heart of God, and you live it out. And if Carol will join me, is that we just want to bless you, bless Allie going forward. And there's another thing in the Word that all the spiritual blessings are stored up in the heavens in Christ. And in the name of Jesus, I just want to release those blessings to you and Allie in the adventures that lie ahead, for all that you've been given to do, the fullness of the purposes of God, be released in and through your lives, and we join you in that. In Jesus' name. Thank you, Dan.
So I'm looking forward to more. Britt. Man, I don't have a ton of friends, guys. There's people that go like narrow and deep. I'm more that person, so the list is shorter of the people that I get to know. And Britt is one of the ones that has. My biggest memories were, and people know, a lot of my life has been caught up in this dumb business that I run. And so that hasn't left a lot of time for a lot of things. And so it's, a lot of the time is spent trying to juggle family and the few friends that I have and sanity. So, but Britt was one of those few very good friends that in many of the early years when I just didn't know we were going to make it, didn't know all these things. One day he came up to me and said, man, let's start meeting at your office. And I was just on the edge of whatever. And there was always some thing happening that was a crisis. And so he said, let's meet at your office. And so that began a year, went on for years, where we would literally get coffee, meet at my little office above this coffee shop, and he would just pray for me. And that's the kind of friend and brother Britt is. I will say part of the beautiful journey too has been, he's always was the one out doing this stuff, strangely enough, and I would just simply watch what he did and didn't do it. And some metaphors or examples where we did Boy Scouts very briefly, but during one of those journeys, we would literally be climbing together, and if he climbed left, I went right, because me was like, that's not going to go well, and it didn't, and he would fall, and I would climb right, and much of life for me was, during the early years, middle school, high school, just kind of, Britt was crazy, man. He just, and it was pretty easy, negative object lesson. Just kind of watch what he's doing. He had long hair, I had short hair, but at least we became good friends when he started driving. Because then I needed a ride, so that really helped bond us. Up until then, I was more the irritating. I mastered starting fights with him when we were younger until I realized I wasn't going to get rides anymore. So, but yeah, back to seriously where this has been. I really do honor you, Britt. I'm so thankful for this amazing new chapter. I love how surprising God is, and this is so cool. And And so I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm thankful for you, and I honor you as a big brother. So thank you.
Allie's family.
For so many reasons. And one is that I stand alone to give my daughter away after all these years. And her dad always dreamed of this time. We prayed about it often together. And we were always asking God for a man who loved the Lord more than he did Allie, but who really loved Allie for being Allie. And the Lord has answered our prayers. I do believe that with all my heart. So we welcome Britt and all of his family and friends into our lives and to our family, because, and I know you knew John, and John has known your parents for many years, but for those of us who just recently know you, it's very apparent that you, all the things that have been said about you, describe you perfectly. And so we really look forward to getting to know you more, because you have been a perfect gentleman, and you have been so embracing of our family and of Allie. And that makes my heart so happy. So we welcome you and bless you.
Yes.
Britt. And then with Allie, so many of the things that were said about Britt could have been said about her when she was little. First of all, she was number 5, totally unexpected. 4 years after this one, number 4. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, another one? How did that happen? It was really amazing. But when this little girl was born into our family, we just knew right away that she was the sunshine. She was the bright spot. All the children are precious and have so many strengths and very few weaknesses, in my opinion.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, go Mom. And Allie has always been full of energy, joy, adventure, curiosity could be another word. Oh my goodness. I remember one day coming in when she was a little 2-year-old maybe, and she had taken one of my expensive perfumes and she was just spraying it on the wall. It was just running right down the wall. I want you to know that even when we painted over it, it still made, we could still see it. So took several coats of paint to cover that. I remember one time we were getting ready for our family trip around the country. That's when we stopped in California to see your family, Carl. And we were packing our little pop-up tent and getting everything ready to go that morning, and Allie was just charging through the house as fast as she could go. She came flying down the hall, which usually my bedroom door would be open, but that day for some reason it was closed, and she just ran into it. Right now you can see a little scar on her head, because right as we were ready to leave, who puts this hole in her? She didn't really put a hole in her head, but she had a pretty good cut. And I remember when she was maybe about 4, I don't know. Anyway, Cara got, that's back when it was the end of when Nissan cars, they used to be called Datsuns. I think it was a Datsun. And I don't know if any of you remember these cars, but when you turned it on, it would talk to you. It had a voice inside. It would say, do this, do that, da-da-da, da-da-da. It was kind of fun. And so Al came home and he said, well, I got a talking car for Cara. Allie went running out there. She stood in front of the car. She said, hi, I'm Allie. And then she said, you said it was a talking car. This car does not talk. So she just took a lot of things literally, but with all the energy that she had. And she was always open and welcoming to other people.
Even cars.
When she was about 12 or something, we let her start flying to visit her sisters in other cities. And she would make friends with people. That was back when it was safe to do so. But I remember she sat she went all the way across the country one time and sat with an elderly lady. And she and that lady talked the whole trip. And they were exchanging addresses. Now this was when, she didn't have a phone or anything, so you exchanged addresses. And they wrote each other for the longest time. And so it was just really special that she was that kind of a person. And then in her teen years and preteen years as an adolescent, she already valued friendship and relationships so much that there are 4 girls at this table who became close, fast friends. And they have been together ever since in their heart. They've been all over the world, in different parts of the world, living from time to time, but they were always connected. And somehow, it seems like about once every year or two, they manage somehow to get together and celebrate with each other. And when they get together, they do celebrate. And it's wonderful. But they care for each other so deeply after all these years. And they've all been there for each other's weddings. And today, you're here with us. And that's because Allie invested, and you all invested in her. But I will have to say, probably for every one of you, Allie initiated it. I would imagine. I'm not sure. I know that's true for Lisa. Maybe for Jenny. Erin, I don't know. You're pretty extrovert. Yeah. Allie does know the value of relationship, and that means more to her than most anything, really. First of all, her relationship with the Lord is so personal, so deep, so loving. And the Lord has given her much knowledge and wisdom and the ability to help a lot of people. And so I could go on many more. She's very gifted in many other ways, but we love you dearly, Allie, and our family, our young baby, Allie Bond baby. When she was little, I called her Allie Bond because bonbon is candy. And I thought of that sweet candy, and she was Allie, so she was Allie Bond. And she was Allie Bond baby because she was a baby. And then I would call her my sunshine, and I also would call her my Bonnie because of bonbon. And I would sing, my Bonnie lies over the ocean. I would be rocking her to sleep. My Bonnie lies over the sea. Little did I know she really would be lying over the sea many times. My Bonnie lies over the ocean, so bring back my Bonnie to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. And God did that when I needed her the most, was when her dad was in his last stages of illness. And she's been with me ever since. And I love you, Allie, and I thank you. God bless you. God bless you both, Britt and Allie. I